You can teach yourself piano, and it may be the best way to start. What you need is a plan and self-discipline. So consider this plan. The plan involves some general principles, things that you can do away from the keyboard, and then things to do at the keyboard. The first thing to do away from the keyboard is to listen to piano music, solo piano music, piano and orchestra, chamber music. This develops your musical mind and ear. You're learning the language of music. It all begins with the ear and then it flows naturally from there. So you want to actively listen to the music, and you also want to physically engage with the music. That may mean tapping your foot, clapping to the beat, dancing, marching around the room, actively being involved with the music. Again, this will help you internalize the music, which will influence how you perform the music. The next issue is body awareness. Are you tense? Do you hold tension somewhere in your body, in your neck, in your shoulders, in your arms, in your hands? Being very physically relaxed, free to move around is important in everyday life, but especially at the piano. And then lastly, remember that music is drama. Good music involves the general principles of drama. Quiet and loud, contrasts. So thinking about these things as you actively listen will ultimately result in better performances. So next, let's take a look at things to do at the keyboard. Too many people learning piano on their own only focus on repertoire. There's a piece that they want to learn how to play, and so that's all that they do. They play that piece over and over and over. With regard to repertoire, you want to have two general categories: short-term pieces and then longer-term pieces. Short-term pieces are anything that you can accomplish in a week or two, and then longer-term pieces you'll accomplish in a month or 3, and then gradations within there. Next, you want to practice your sight reading. Not just doing sight reading, but you want to learn the skills and strategies that will improve your sight reading. Next, you want to focus on technique. Technique is the how you play, not necessarily the what you play. Your pieces are what you're playing, but how you play it is technique and artistry. Then lastly, you want to learn theory. This helps you recognize the patterns, vocabulary, and grammar of music. All right, so next, let's look at how to study. First, you want to schedule your practice time. You don't just want to fit it in where you think you'll enjoy it, but you want to schedule it. And it doesn't have to be for 4 hours a day. It can be a short amount of time, but many advocate doing it regularly at the same time every day. 30 minutes a day is better than 3 hours on one day. And in your practice, just focus on a few of those things that we talked about. You don't have to do all those things every day. Not every day is leg day. Lastly, be kind to yourself if you don't achieve your goal. It is a marathon and not a sprint. All right, next I want to give you some resources to use in your studies. So first is for you adult beginners who have no experience, or it's been way too long since you touched the piano that you really think you need to kind of start from ground level. First, I'd like you to consider my 5-day Zero to Hero piano challenge. Link is in the description, where you go from learning nothing about the piano to being on the right foot for your studies. All right, so next let's talk about a method book. A method book is great because it gives you some of that structure and will lead you on your path of musical discovery. The method book that I recommend is the Adult Piano Adventures All-in-One course, starting with book 1. These are great books because they are laid out very logically, and they encourage musical discovery and creativity, composition and improvisation. And they also come with free video lessons. Like each lesson in the book, you can click on a link and go watch a video of the techniques being demonstrated by Randall Faber himself. You can check those out right now on their website. I'll put links to all this stuff in the description. You can also watch the videos through the free app. The app is great because it provides play-alongs. They're MIDI-based play-alongs. So you can slow them down, speed them up. You can just listen to the song and then you can control the volume of the accompaniment, and there's also a metronome built into it. Play-alongs are much better than simply a metronome because when you're playing along with a metronome, you can stop and fix something and then pick right back up, still playing in time, but you've effectively destroyed the musical line. So a play-along will prevent you from doing that and help you develop more of a flow in your music. You can't go back and fix it because it'll result in a train wreck. I highly recommend that app. So for sight reading, I recommend the associated sight reading book. It's the preparatory book. Links of all of these things will be in the description. And then technique, use the scale and chord book 1. One thing that I should mention about these scale and chord books is that they aren't just scales, right? Certainly they present the scales and common cadences that you should know, but then they also give these little challenges. It's a little musical pattern that you learn, and then you transpose that into various other keys. It's just a lot of opportunity, which is really what you need when you're practicing. For repertoire, you have quite a variety of options. There are partner books that have Christmas music and popular tunes and classical themes that would be great for short-term repertoire. For longer-term repertoire, and then things that are out of the piano literature, rather than being original arrangements written by the composers, the authors of the series, I consider the preparatory level book from the piano literature series. And what's great about these piano lit books is that they include audio. You can hear the performances performed very well and imitate them. By all means, imitate them. Do what they do. That's what a piano should sound like, and that's what you should emulate. I have several other recommendations for repertoire. Those links will be in the description, and I'll address them later. But next, for you adult beginners who more recently have been playing, maybe you took lessons a short while ago and you don't quite need the same refresher. You can start with the level 2 of the series. Kind of starts assuming you know note names and you know what quarters and eighth notes are, and it progresses from there. So then regarding sight reading, it would be the Developing Artist Series Sight Reading Book 1, and then regarding technique, the Scale and Chord Book 2 would be great. So then regarding repertoire, the Literature Book 1 from the same series. So some other books that I recommend for repertoire would be the Essential Keyboard Repertoire series. The first book will be very useful for quite a while. It's laid out chronologically, and then within each composer's offerings, it's ordered in progressive difficulty. But make sure you get the version with CD so you can listen to the pieces. Another consideration for repertoire would be the Essential Piano Repertoire series, edited by Keith Snell. That is several volumes of pieces progressively laid out in order of difficulty. More recently, they've begun offering a series called Progressive Piano Repertoire that is just that. But it also includes original pieces by the editors, and it's high quality material. So an alternative for sight reading and technique would be the Dozen a Day series. And I've linked to the anthology because it has the first 4 books, which are the mini book, the preparatory book, levels 1 and 2, all under one roof, so to speak, and it also includes the online audio. All right, so there you go. So that should give you a good action plan and plenty of resources to get started on the right track. That'll be it for the video, but as I think of it, maybe I'll add some more things to the description, some additional resources for you to consider. And if you have any questions or comments, leave it down below, and I'll see you next time.